So welcome to the Earthling EDC channel. My name is Phil, and I've got an interesting video for you today. So this is my personal EDC kit. It's in a mini pouch, and I have everything, all my tools are stored on a pocket rack. A pocket rack is just a plastic card, very simple, you can see here, weighs about half an ounce, and you can just store your EDC tools on it. So last December, I had to build out a budget EDC kit that was based on the tools that I have on this. I had to pretty much take everything that was here and find a cheaper version that would be on a pocket rack. So one tool in particular was kind of a challenge. That's this Knipex Cobra, it's the XS. These are basically just a really nice pair of pliers. They're German made. The big deal here that they wouldn't fit in the budget kit is that they cost $30 for this little tiny pair of pliers. But they're really well engineered. They're very nice. My only problem with them is I have big hands, and you can see they just kind of get buried in my hands. So when I'm torquing on things, sometimes I can't get enough grip to really hold this thing in place. So that's a fairly big deal. I do like the way it's shaped, and I find that it does things that I cannot do with other pairs of pliers. And so emulating this in a budget kit was kind of a challenge. What I came up with was this. So this is a pair of locking pliers from China. They run about $4. I got them off of Temu. There'll be a link in the description for you to be able to find these if you're interested. So I made a fairly big modification to this. These were needle nose locking pliers. I took off the needle nose portion of it and I cut it down and then rounded this out. I also, in the base here, you can see that the locking bolt for the locking pliers is now flush with the handle. I did that by cutting down a bit of the bolt here so that this would sit flush in when it was locked. And they're a very nice pair of pliers. I mean, they still function completely normally, and I can get some pretty good grip on these as well. And what I call these T-Rex pliers, because of the face you've got up here, you get the little eye and the mouth. They look sort of like a T-Rex. So with this T-Rex, I decided for this video, I was really going to up the game on the design. And to do that, I was going to get rid of these, and I was going to use these. So these are made by Irwin. These are vice grips. These pretty much define locking pliers. This is a mini version of it, and I believe they're just over 4.5 inches, so about 4.5 inches. Let me check real quick. I'm going to check this real fast here. Looks like they are 4.5 inches, just over 5 inches. Yeah, 5.41 inches. So these are 5.41 inches in length. I need to cut them down considerably to do that so that they'll fit on one of the cards. I'm going to take off the nose here. I'm going to trim this bolt like I mentioned before. I'm also going to probably trim this handle a little bit. And if you look inside here, here's that bolt that I was talking about. I'm actually going to trim this up right about there. And then on the inside of the jaws here, I'm going to put a slit here and another slit here, cut it into the metal. And I'm going to use this as a handle to hold saw blades. So I can put a wood blade here, I can put a metal cutting blade here, saw blades. I can also put a straight blade here and use this, just turn this into a knife. It's a very nice little handle on it, and it works really well. The nice thing about the blades is that they sit flat on the pocket rack, so it's going to take up virtually no space when I store it with this rack. So after I've completed all the changes to this, I'm going to take the Knipex, and we're going to do a face-off with these two. So I'm going to take a torque wrench. I'm going to hook this thing up to the torque wrench and see how much torque I can get on this before it starts to slip. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the vice grips, and we're going to see what happens. It should be an interesting video. Hope you stick around. So these are the mini vice grips that we're going to be reducing in size. And these are 5.41 inches in length. We're going to take the handle down, the little bolt on the left-hand side there, and we're also going to cut off the nose right next to where that red dot appears. I think it's about 6 millimeters. And you're going to need a new hacksaw for this. It takes a little while, but you're going to grind through this thing, and they're going to pop right off. You're going to end up with a little snub nose like that. And then a little dental work is in order. So in this case, we're going to be taking down the molars a little bit, and these were originally wire cutters on the back. And then we're going to grind the nose down. You're going to want a nice little Dremel tool type grinder to take this all down. So I'm just mostly reducing the burrs and things like that from the cutting, but it also rounding it out as well, and just making it look nice over and over again. And this is what it looks like when it's completed. It's a very nice compact design. You can adjust it quite a bit, and it worked out really well. Now, this is how my test of it is using the little cutting wheel that I have for cutting the handle and tightening it up nicely, which it worked fine. And then this is cutting the slit into the jaws, and that slit is going to use to hold the saw blades in place. Now this is cutting the handle down to size. I took it off, a few millimeters off the bottom. It's up to you what size you want to do it, but it's fairly easy to do. This cutting wheel is just really, really efficient at taking the stuff down, and it's very precise as well, as you can see. And then you end up with little sharp ends there. Okay, going back to the bolt, I'm taking off 6.7 millimeters. This is the bolt pulled off of the back of the locking pliers, and then I'm going to take off that 6.7 millimeters off the bottom here. It's not a big deal. I've been doing that for a while on the old pair. So, and then just putting the bolt back in place, screwing it back in place, and once it's all the way in, you're going to do a little bit adjustment here. So all I'm doing now is just pulling that back a little bit until I can finally click it shut, and there, it's locked in place. And that's the whole tool. And all we're going to do now, all that's really left to do, you can see the tip of the bolt on the down below. All we'll do now is take the burrs off the end and round out the handle so it's nice and smooth. You don't have any cuts or sharp edges. And you can see the bolt is almost flush now to the handle. It came out very, very nicely. So it's very compact. It's a really nice tight design. I was really pleased with the final results. So what I have in my hand here is an old Craftsman torque wrench. This is one that my dad and I rebuilt a couple engines with many, many years ago. I'm in my 60s now. This is when I was in my teens. We were messing around with this thing. So it still works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the T-Rex to this thing, and then I'm going to hook up the Knipex, the XS, and we're going to see how much I can generate by connecting to this 1/2-inch connector. Last time I did this was with a bit driver, and my hand was like really not feeling it afterwards. So we'll see what we can do here. Anyway, hold on. Again, this is the Knipex I'm going with first. I'm hooking it up here like that. It's a 1/2 inch that it's attached to, square. And here goes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm gonna have to check and see what that number is because I couldn't see it while I was shaking so much. Yeah, I think that's gonna beat the new T-Rex. It's amazing how that thing just locks on to the square, the 1/2 inch square. All right, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna set up for the other one, and then I'll come right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm still sideways, and that's how you hook up this thing with the locking pliers. So it's actually locked onto the nut here. So I'm going to torque on this thing like crazy. Let's see if it releases. And let me line this up over here, same as last time. Now I'm going to pull this and see what we can do here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow, that really locked on there. So the results are in, and it appears that we sort of have a tie. Maybe. I'll let you decide. So the Knipex, I pulled 25 foot-pounds of torque on that thing based on what the torque wrench said from the video. And the other one, the Irwin, the vice grips, I pulled 20 foot-pounds. Now, the only reason I think there's a difference, the 5-pound difference, is because I was tired after pulling the first one. I didn't have the strength to get up the second one to the 25 pounds. I might try it again, but it doesn't really matter. When you start to get up to that level of foot-pounds, it's for a small tool like this, that's remarkable. It really is. I tried, a similar with the Chinese one, and I bent it. So you can see the handle there is just totally bent out of alignment now with the rest of it. So yeah, it's done. But this is fine for a lightweight tool. It's fine. But if you wanted to really get something that's quality and good, these were great. Granted, you need a modification on this, and you know, I've outlined that in the video, but it turns out pretty nice. It's very small, it's compact, it does almost the same stuff that you're going to get out of the Knipex. The big difference again is the price. Is that this one is $30 to $32, and this was $11 to $16. I got mine for $11, and yeah, I made the mods on it. If you want to spend the time, I enjoy working on stuff like that. So to me, it was kind of fun to do this. The whole video was great. I really enjoyed doing this. Again, and the big difference though on this one, and I had mentioned this at the beginning, is that you can turn the Irwin, the vice grip, the mini vice grip, into a saw. So you have the option. I've got 3 different blades here. I've got a straight edge blade, and I put this into the groove that I cut earlier and snap it in place, and you basically have a straight edge saw. So this is right now is a knife blade. So I can release that, and then I can put on a wood blade like this one, and we'll just put it into the groove, lock it in place, and yeah, you're off and running. So this will hold up really nicely. It locks on very tightly, and you can just cut through wood very easily. Like I cut through like half a 2x4 with this thing before. And I also have one more blade, which is a metal cutting blade. And again, this locks right in. You lock it in place, click, and there you go. So this will cut right through metal. So, and it's very ergonomic the way this is set up. You have a really nice handle for working this thing. So it's fantastic. It's really, I'm really impressed with what Irwin has done with the vice grips. This mini version, and being able to modify it and, you know, get it onto a pocket rack like the same size as that little Knipex. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I had a great time making this video. I want to really appreciate you guys stopping by and seeing it. Oh yeah, one more thing. I've got a giveaway that's going on for June. If you have not signed up for one of these giveaways before, I'll have the instructions in the description for this video. Just stop by and fill out the information that's needed. You just have to be a subscriber and drop your email into the form, and you're all done. And I'll contact you if you win at the end of June. So that's it. This was great. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope to see you again. Take care.